Hi guys, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Hi guys, how are you doing? It's a lovely Wednesday morning and again I'm waiting for my mum to ring, and yesterday my phone was completely dead. It seems to be working normally today, so let's hope things are better than yesterday. Alexa, what's the time please?
The time is 8:05 a.m.
Alexa, what's the day today?
Today is Wednesday the 22nd of June.
And the weather in Rochester? Alexa, what's the weather like?
In Rochester, it's 17 degrees Celsius with clear skies and sun. Today's forecast calls for more of the same, with a high of 24 degrees and a low of 12 degrees.
Well, let's go and see what the temperature is like in my bedroom, because I just want to check out that new gadget, the Grow Egg. The Grow Egg 2 it is. So, what does the Grow Egg say? I can't see. The light is shining. It's 22 degrees. The Grow Egg says it's 22 degrees. And the sun is so bright I can't see. So it is 22 degrees in my bedroom. Right. Last night I found it really hard to get off to sleep. I did go to sleep eventually. What did I do last night? I just sat down and it was fairly peaceful and quiet. And I felt okay actually. Not being able to go to sleep for quite a while. Bit of heartburn. I mean, I should know my lesson by now. Don't eat before you go to bed. But I was so hot, I ate a couple of ice lollies before I went to bed, and I think that's what it was. So it's a lovely, hot, sunny day already. Here in Rochester, the sun is out. Just quickly nip outside. Yesterday, one of the builders left his hat. And his jacket on the dustbin, and it's still there this morning. The white helmet and the jacket is on the dustbin. It's been there all yesterday and it's there today. I do feel like someone is trying to annoy me every day, and somebody thinks I'm some kind of violent thief. That's my perception of things. I'm not. I'm not actually a thief, and I don't harm anybody, and I just want to meet somebody and settle down. And I'm too old to start another family, but I'd like to have a kind of relationship with somebody, if that's at all possible. Instead of this, whatever it is every day. I'm 53. I'm a woman. When I was going out with Graham, that was the type of relationship I wanted. Unfortunately, that stopped 3 years ago. We used to go out together. He took me to Brighton. He took me to cafes. He took me out. And I lost that 3 years ago, and I became lost after that, actually. Quite lost. I wouldn't say I'm lonely. Don't get me wrong, you know, you can be lonely in a room full of people. You can actually go to a nightclub or something by yourself, be in a group of people but still be alone and lonely. So you don't have to be on your own to be lonely. I'm not lonely, and my dog is my best friend. He actually is. He sits at the end of my bed. He's up every morning the same time as me, and he you know, it comes to, you know what, if I disappear out the room for a couple of minutes, he comes looking. So I'm fine, I'm not lonely. I would just like to share the things in my life with somebody, you know. But it's just not to be, people aren't worth bothering with. They just aren't. And now they can help themselves. Right, so Alexa, can you put LBC radio on, please? Alexa, LBC radio.
LBC London from Global Player.
Morning. Well, his position is that he's got himself into a complete and utter mess. As I wrote about on Sunday, I think people will see, something that is starting to define Keir Starmer's leadership, which on any particular issue, you simply don't know where he stands on it, and you don't know whose side Keir Starmer's on, and that's becoming a real problem for him and for his party.
For those scratching their head, wondering why he can't say what he thinks, explain the complex background that some people would say is hindering him here.
Well, there are two things. Firstly, you have to go back to the start of Starmer's leadership campaign, when he kicked off that campaign, he produced a slick video talking and boasting about how he was on the picket line at Wapping, how he's a big friend of the trade unions, and that was what he did to secure the leadership. Since then, he's been trying to back off that, but his position within the Labour Party is currently so weak that he can't do that with confidence, and that's why he got himself into the mess we see today.
How likely is it Boris Johnson and others will seek to exploit this, possibly even at lunchtime today?
I think there's quite a strong possibility of that.
And is he open to that? Is it fair? Or is this a marvellous diversion tactic? Because, in all honesty, it doesn't actually fall to Keir Starmer to resolve this. You could argue it doesn't fall to the government, it falls to the road operating companies. But the government wield more influence and could be doing more, whereas, of course, Sir Keir is just the leader of the opposition. Dan?
No, it is a diversion, but it's a diversion that's been handed to the government by Keir Starmer himself, especially with this demand that members of his party don't back the strikes and don't appear on picket lines. They obviously, a significant number of them defied him yesterday, so now he's going to have to decide whether he actually follows through with that and sacks them. If he does, there'll be a huge row inside the party, and if he doesn't, his authority will be destroyed.
Lastly, it'd be really interesting to get your view on this. A summer of discontent, Dan? Brewing?
Yeah, I think we're going to see more of these inevitably, because obviously there's a cost of living crisis, and in fairness to the unions, they would say they're sticking up for their members. So this is only the beginning of this. It's by no means the end.
Dan Hodges is also broadcaster, political commentator of the Mail on Sunday. Thank you. 12 after 8. Listen to that. John McTernan, who served as Director of Political Operations for Tony Blair, Director of Communications for Australian Prime Minister Julia Gillard, is now political strategist for PR company BCW, so he certainly knows what he's speaking about. The attacks on Sir Keir, are they justified, or, as Dan Hodges was saying, he's sort of engineered this crisis for himself? Where do you stand on that, John? Good morning.
Alexa, stop. Anyway, there was a rail strike yesterday, and it was very unusual not to hear railway announcements when I go out the back to walk Max. So there was no trains running here yesterday, and there was no train announcements, and no trains going up and down. So it was quite strange, actually, to have one day of silence with no railway noise. So yesterday was fairly quiet, actually. The builders have stopped making so much noise because they're working in other places now, and those flats down the bottom are nearly completed. And this place is a really nice place. I said the flat is big, it's spacious, and it's a nice area to live in. And hopefully, if it stays like this, I'm quite happy to live here now. I don't have any complaints right at this moment. I don't. It's a really nice, wonderful place to live. And I'm happy to settle in here. I'm getting used to it. You can get bullied anywhere. You can go from place to place and still get bullied. So I've come to terms with it, and I'm ignoring it, and I'm trying to just make the most of each day, because life is very short. And I want to be happy. I want to spread happiness to others. And I want to smile. I don't want to spend my life being bitter and upset. I want to move on. These things happen. Now you try and find happiness. You don't go backwards, you go forwards. Right? Alexa, can you tell me me a joke, please?
What happened when the blue ship and the red ship collided at sea? Their crews were marooned.
Oh, 'cause red and blue makes maroon, doesn't it? If you mix